Hello, my name is Barbara Gray from Clarity Stamp, and today I wanted to take another look at the Gelli Plate. Now this time I wanted to work with one of my stencils. When I was looking at the stencil, I was thinking to myself, actually I wanted the line art, you see. So I've got this fantastic houses stencil, but what I wanted was the line art to be black. So I thought, I'm going to have to use a Gelli Plate to do this. And I did try. You can run it through an embossing machine, but if you haven't got an embossing machine, I thought, well, let's see if this works. So at the risk of upsetting a few people, I also cut my stencil. You see, to me, it's a tool, you know, and it worked for me doing this project by cutting the frame off the top. So that's the other thing that I did. And then also, just to really put the cat among the pigeons, I used 2 Gelli Plates, one for transferring ink and one for actually creating the artwork. Having said that though, if you can bear with me long enough till the end, you'll see that I pull a really lovely print off the large Gelli Plate too. But for now, the large Gelli Plate is going to be the one that I use for my for spreading the black on. Now I'm using some open acrylics here, Paynes Grey, Azo Gold and Titanium Buff. So first of all, let's take some Paynes Grey and I'm going to spread it on here. This is the first thing I want to do. Now we don't need loads. I think I may have overcooked it a bit there, but we'll see. So I'm just going to spread this out over my Gelli Plate, my large Gelli Plate, like this. Okay, quite a lot. The thing about this open acrylic, forgive me for being wasteful here, but you know what, in the name of art, right, I just want to get some paint down like so. Okay, and then what I want to do is I'm going to take my stencil and I want to just lay it down, for example, like so, straight on my paint, like that. And now the idea is to transfer the paint to the actual stencil. So I'm going to take a piece of copy paper and I'm going to press, you know, I'm going to press as hard as I can to burnish, there we go, and transfer the paint to the actual plastic stencil. Right, and I'm deliberately using, there, look, that's quite nice too, you know, like a gingerbread house. But I'm deliberately using, if you'll take this away now, a slow drying paint, which gives me a little bit of time now to spread this paint on. This is going to be the background for my houses. So I'm going to just mix up a little bit of paint, and I want the buff titanium to the top for the sky, and then I'm going to use the Quinacridone down the bottom. I can never say that properly. Quinacridone. Right, so we're just going to spread these colours across the smaller Gelli Plate, like so. Right, so I've got a nice background. Doesn't that look lovely? I won't even get rid of that. I might use a bit more of that in a minute. And then I'm going to just quite simply, I mean, it's not rocket science, I'm going to transfer my paint, my black or my grey, onto there, like so. And then when I've done that, again, I want to blot. So I'm just going to apply my Paynes Grey stencil over the top. So but at the same time, I'm getting rid of some of the yellow around the edge, like so. And then when I've done that, I'm going to lift this one off, and I should have what I consider to be a decent print. Now let me find my card. And again, I've laid the Gelli Plate. See, there's no rush because it's slow drying paint. I've laid the Gelli Plate on a piece of the same card that I want to print from. So now I can go in here like so, and I can lay that down on there. Right, and then I can pull a print. Bearing in mind, I've still got this lovely black ghostly one here. So let's just see what we've got here first. Right, fantastic. So let's take a look. What we've done is we've transferred the line art from the stencil, and we've got this really arty, funky, I mean, well, I love it. Now what's interesting is, of course, my Gelli plate is quite clean, isn't it? But I've still got some paint on here. So I reckon that I can add a bit more paint to this again. Let's have a look. Sounds a bit dry, but you know, if I wanted to, I could always go back to the tubes. And then here, I wonder if I've got enough paint on here. Maybe. Let's see. If not, it was worth a try, wasn't it? It was only wasted anyway. And then once more, I need to press the Paynes Grey. Now this may be a more subtle or a ghosty one, if you like, but that's okay. That's one of the magic things about this golden acrylic, this open acrylic. Let's take this off now, okay, and let's lift that off. Oh, it looks like we're in for another print. So this one may be a little lighter than the other one. Let's check it out. So we'll lay it down over the top. And let's have a look. And this is the one that I'm going to take through to another place, I think. But let's just check it out first. If I lift this off, bingo. Look, we've got another second print. So we've got 1, 2, and you know what? I know for a fact that I can pull 3 and 4 from this stencil here, which is pretty cool. Now let's have a look at this though, this black, because we're looking at that and we're thinking, I wonder what's going on there. And then we'll go forward with this. So we've got our black print on here. Let me find some Gelli Card that fits on here. And what we want to do now is just pull a print. Let's see if this works. This should be pretty cool. Let's have a look. I'd say, look at that. It's pretty spectacular, isn't it? There we go. So, I know we used 2 Gelli plates, and there'll be people out there going, I'm still saving up for my first one. But you know what? I've got both, and I'm very happy that I do, because I'm using that one to transfer the fantastic patterns from our stencils to the Gelli plate. So it's got to be worth it, hasn't it? Now, let's just move this to one side, and we'll come back to those in a minute. We've got that fantastic one, the original one. Look at the shadows on that, absolutely spectacular. And then we've got that really old Victorian, sort of Halloween-y, it's fantastic. So we'll put that over there. And what I'm going to do is take the more muted one now. So the second generation one. And forgive me if I use my stencil now. I'm going to use, because I haven't got anywhere to wash my other stencil, so I'm just going to use a second stencil. Forgive me for that. And what I want to do now is cover up my artwork with the stencil, and it's got to be in exactly the right place. So let me just do this quickly and then I'll get back to you. I've got to cover up the line art exactly like so. So just talk among yourselves for a moment while I get this right. Right, so I've covered up the stencil completely, and I've gone in, I just want to show you, I've gone right in to where the paint ends, like so. And now what I'm going to do is take a piece of copy paper and take my stencil brushes, and I want to use a very unlikely colour, red pepper, but I reckon this is going to look pretty sharp. So I'm going to take red pepper, which is a very red colour, surprisingly, and I'm going to start in this corner, and I'm just going to sweep across. If you've got too much, then get rid of some. And I'm just going to keep going from the same corner, just keep moving from the same corner, throw in a kind of a red haze across the houses, like this, up into the roofs. There we go. And then if you want it to be tighter, you see, you can actually go in real tight like so. If you want that house door, for example, to be really red, you can just grab the pen, the brush further down, and then just drag through like this. All right, up we go. I reckon this will look pretty good. And then you see you can take a makeup sponge, and if you like, you can wipe through. And while you're cleaning the red off the plastic stencil, you're also tightening the lines. So let's have a look. Right, that door's going to look good. There. And then, when we've done red, let's just keep this going for a moment. I'm going to take blue, which seems a bit of a strange combination, but I reckon this will work lovely. Let's take a little bit of blue now. Denim I'm using. And I'm going to run the denim over the top of the red. And what it does is it gives you almost like a grey purple colour. Works for these houses anyway. And let's just always going from the same corner, it's going to throw a good shadow. That's the theory anyway. There we go. Let's just keep going on that corner there. Right, you can see how much darker it's getting in this area here. And I'm using these brushes just to sweep through. This area here has almost got no colour, but that's okay, we can sort that out in a minute. Just come in a little bit maybe on the top with the... Why don't we come in here with the blue, since it's a sky? That might look quite good, I reckon. Okay, let's check it out. Maybe we can just use a makeup sponge just to deposit some of the colour there. You know, and if you wanted to, you could go in directly like this and really get some shadow going. Here we go, look. From the bottom, just move it through. Just maybe along the bottom here. Got some fantastic colours going on. There we are. Maybe up that side of that house. You can get some going in the roof where there's nothing. I reckon. Let's have a look then, shall we? Obviously, when you're doing this at home, relaxing, listening to cool music, you can take your time. But I'm sure that this will be nice anyway. I love it. I love it indeed. So let's have a look. You can see how it looks, if you come in closely, it really is quite astounding. This looks so three-dimensional, so three-dimensional. So going back to where we were with our 2 Gelli plates, not 1 but 2, you'll see that we had our original piece, which was rather lovely, where we just transferred the black paint from the larger Gelli plate, and then already had some really lovely colours on the Gelli plate. Then we had a ghost print, didn't we, which is the one that we then treated with colour to bring out a completely different look, which is rather fantastic. And then finally, in order to clean the black paint, which was the transfer paint, from our large Gelli plate, we pulled a spectacular mono print. So there we are, another little technique. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I shall see you next time. Bye bye now.